everybody, and welcome to Dimlits, where we are not the brightest bulbs in the box.
Woo! And we're lit.
That it?
Yeah,
you done?
Yeah, we're lit as a lamp.
I was waiting for him to say
We're
something.
lit as the lamp.
He just went, woo! This is a podcast where we talk about Pixar movies because why not?
Our Pixar. See what I did there? Our Pixar.
Today we're talking about...
He does crap like that, and I'm not allowed to dislike Joe Burrow.
You can dislike Joe Burrow all you want.
That's so many context.
It really is. Today, we're talking about the 15th installment in the Pixar catalog. Their return to form, everyone talked about. That they wouldn't shut up about when they
The
made a
return
movie. They made a movie
Pixar.
at the same level of quality the 2 years before. It's not like they went anywhere. They just had two really bad movies after Toy Story 3. But this is Inside Out. Came out in 2015. I think all three of us saw this in theaters.
Yeah, I definitely did.
I saw it on like its third or fourth week. It was later because everyone was freaking out about Pixar's back, and it's like, okay. I mean,
that's a fair point. It felt a little rough, like the last two ones.
Yeah, well, they had two right after Toy Story 3. Monsters University.
Not
was before
Monsters. I like that one, not that one.
No, Cars 2 and Brave. Yeah. So, and it's funny because you can't even say rough. That's the thing. Pixar is back. They won the Oscar for Brave. No matter what you think of the movie, it's not like it was a successful movie. And then Cars 2 made money. Yes, it was panned, but it's not like they failed.
Yeah.
And then Monsters University is a good movie that made a lot of money. So Pixar is back. It's like,
where'd they go?
And are they really back? This kind of just feels like a movie they'd make.
I mean, this is just the first in a long line of
Pixar
that's
Pixar.
movies.
That's Pixar. Yep,
I still remember.
Yep, that's Soul.
I still remember
Oh,
when
wait,
this...
I wasn't supposed to say
that's
that
Coco.
yet.
Do you remember when this came out? All the memes were...
Yep, that's Finding Dory.
They were like, first
Yep,
they
that's
gave...
the good dinosaur.
What were you saying?
First they gave toys feelings, then they gave bugs feelings, then they gave fish feelings, then they gave cars feelings, then they gave animals feelings, then they gave robots feelings, and now in this one, I'm skipping over a couple, but they gave feelings. You're not going to laugh at that?
No.
That was supposed to be a joke.
That was a joke? Felt like I was on the Pixar subreddit.
I thought he was just stating a fact.
Let's see. r/Pixar. Did you ever notice that the feelings have feelings in Inside Out? Pixar's back, baby. #love it.
Do you not remember those jokes being made like when this first came out?
I remember them.
And you're not
I didn't really laugh. I mean, but when you tell it.
You're really out of place because I thought it was hilarious. I'm still laughing.
What is he laughing at?
I don't know.
I'm just laughing at that really awkward silence.
That was really awkward. That was great. I think because we were waiting for the joke or the point, and then you just stopped because you made it, and we were like, "Oh, okay."
God. Okay.
Yes, but it came out in 2015. It was they did not have a movie in 2014 because Monsters University is 2013. That was their first year not having movies since.
Is that why people thought Pixar was back?
That's a good point.
Could have been it.
Did they think that because Pixar didn't make a movie for a year that they were gone?
I don't know. They've had gaps plenty of times before. It had just been about 10 years since they had a gap.
Hey, just remember, Pixar's back, baby.
Pixar's back, baby. Oh, and I remember it was everywhere. People were loving this movie. That's fine. It's a good movie. It's just I was getting sick of it, and I hadn't even seen the movie at that point. It's like, can we please shut up about this movie? I get it. I at this point, it's like I'm in college. I'm paying attention to movies a lot. I always have, but somewhere late high school is when I really started paying attention to new stuff coming out more often. It's like I get it. Could we shut up? Then I remember my friend had seen it, a coworker at the time, and he said, "Hey, let's go watch this. Mm-hmm. It's really good. I think you'd like it." And I go, "Okay," and yeah, I like it.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't love it. I don't think it's great.
Do you think Pixar's back, baby?
I don't. I think they're just living in the.
They're just living their best life.
The empty void left by their golden age being done.
You mean the empty void left by Toy Story 3?
Yes.
Yeah. That does kind of feel like a peak, even if because we're really harsh on the movie, and even if we don't think it's a great movie, that does feel like their peak, like them at the height of their popularity, because they're still really popular, but that's like the pinnacle.
Well, it was also the end of a trilogy, which is also just like a big moment. Like,
Which
it's
was
just
the
a
end
big
of the
moment.
first trilogy.
So it makes sense as to like how why that feels like it's
Yeah.
like capping an era.
It's like that. There were no other sequels made for other films yet in their catalog. It was the highest grossing animated movie for a while because it was Shrek 2. And then Toy Story 3 beat it 6 years later. And then I think Frozen beat that 3 years after that.
Probably.
So for a second, they had the highest grossing animated movie, and it was nominated for Best Picture. And it's like, this is the pinnacle of what they've done, just response-wise. So now we're in this weird void of, oh, they made a bad sequel. Oh, then they made a bad original movie. Oh, then they made a good sequel that did well and is solid. And then we have this, which is still solid, but it's like, how do you match where you were?
Yeah, that's a hard task to have for anybody.
Yeah. Oh, here we start going. I should probably read this whatever I wrote 6 months ago.
Oh yes, give us your spiel on Inside Out.
Okay, so without further ado, Inside Out. Oh boy, how mad was I 6 months ago? What do you get when you combine Herman's head with Osmosis Jones? Another Pixar movie that deals with another big what if. This time it's about the emotions and how they make decisions for you. And hey, it's a decent movie. Oh, I'm being nice. In this one, Joy is running things, but after a big move is finding it hard to stave off sad. Oh man, I didn't write this well.
What?
But after a big move is finding it hard to stave off sadness, who is, well, sad. But when things go awry, can the two get back before they're human? Riley gets depressed. It feels like I was way nicer than I thought it was be, but it still feels backhanded.
There's some spice there. There's a little bit of cayenne sprinkled on top.
Yeah. Who wants to start? You want to start? You raised
No.
your hand. You raised your hand.
My forearm hurts, so I was doing the spice. I was doing the Spice Bay thing, but I can't bend my arm far enough back.
Do you want to start anyway? Dickey, you start.
Okay.
He didn't even respond. He just laughs.
I really, really love this movie.
No.
And I obviously okay. So the first time I watched this, I'm trying to remember what the setting was. I don't remember who I watched.
On your phone.
No, I was in the theaters. I went to go see this in the movie theaters. I remember who I was with.
So you watched it on your phone in the theater?
Yeah.
That's illegal.
Yes,
Why'd you do that?
I don't know why I did that.
Were you recording it? Were you just watching it through the
That's definitely
viewfinder?
what I was doing. Yeah.
I mean, it makes it look a little bit overexposed, but I guess you could.
Anyway,
Is the viewfinder the
thing?
What's that thing called? You put the circular disc thing in there and you see the different pictures when you hold it up to the light. What's that called?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm
The
talking
red
about, right?
things with the orange
Yeah.
leather.
I had those as a kid.
Yeah, imagine watching an entire movie like that frame to frame.
Wild.
That thing forever.
I mean, that's kind of like what we do, except it's,
Sped up.
And there's sound.
Not always there wasn't.
No, but they still have music.
Back at my original point. I was simply saying when I remember first time watching this in theaters, and I'm not even kidding you. I think the last the conversation when no, I know it was before the conversation that Riley had with her parents. I think it was when they first let sadness touch the memory. Like, go ahead, do this. Tears. Like, I was just started crying. Like, and I don't know why. Like, it's a
We know.
What's that?
We know why.
You know why?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's why?
Because you're a big crybaby. You cry at everything. You told us so.
I do cry at everything.
Sam keeps emergency tissues in the little
And she
thing
knows
in the
what
couch. It's like right away you're watching a movie, it's like, bam, gotcha.
How do you think she learned what his eyelids sound like when they open?
So I was getting around to saying is watching it this time. It's still I cried once again, but I don't know why it keeps hitting me like that. Because, like, it's overall, it's kind of a simple message, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sorry, you use all of your feelings to make decisions. Like, that's kind of like, obviously you do. So it's a simple message. So I don't know why, but this thing just hits me every time and it makes me cry. And that's kind of my spiel, is I don't know what triggers inside my body when it hits that, because it's just like all of a sudden, oh my god, it's just so real, and it's just crying, and yeah, that's just kind of how.
Hold on, do that again.
It's just so real, and I'm crying.
Hold on, a little more sad.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not doing that again. But so that's my spiel. That's how I feel. So yeah.
What about you, Jake? What was your experience watching Inside Out the first time?
The first
time?
And this time.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Bookend it. Paint a picture.
You think I remember watching this the first time?
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
You saw it in theaters, though.
I think so.
Who'd you see it with?
What year did it come out? 2015?
2015.
Probably my wife. Probably.
Did she like it?
Yeah.
Did you watch it with her this time, or just on your own?
No, I just watched it on my own.
Did you cry? Did you get close?
Maybe at the end I welled up a little bit.
Jared, did you cry?
No.
Jared doesn't have feelings like that.
We keep talking about this. I am very emotional.
Like he does.
I got more emotional watching Monsters University.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know why.
There were stakes in a competition.
Yeah,
but this is like a mental and emotional state.
I
like,
know.
This is even
I think it's
more.
because I remember this because Monsters University. I think it's that realization of like, I can do everything right, and it doesn't matter. That's just not. I can't. It's not me. And I was like, that hits deep.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is,
and then this one is different, and it's much more simplistic, and that's fine because it's trying to have kids feel like that.
It is,
and
yeah,
it pulls that off.
And I think it still hits that note, like when Riley finally comes around to saying, "I miss home, and like I can't just keep being happy." Like,
yeah,
I think
that's a good moment.
That's where like that's that same moment in Monster University for me. Like I think both of those just completely like knock it out of the park. Like and I'm just like I said, I wasn't like, you should have seen me. Like I was watching this like late Saturday night, and I'm just like tears just falling. Like I'm having to like have a Kleenex. I'm just like, oh, this is so.
Was Sam watching with you?
No, she was asleep because she had to work early on Sunday.
So she keeps waking up to from the other room. And she's like, oh my gosh.
She's in a vision in the bedroom. Texts me, will you shut up crying?
She did?
No.
Oh man, that would have been so funny. It's like
I can hear you
are you
sobbing.
No,
from
first
the
it's,
other.
are you okay? Yeah, I'm watching a movie. Oh, please shut up. It's like, yeah, she's checking in on you, then realize, he's just crying again at another movie.
Being a crybaby. But it's my brain just went everywhere. But I was saying, it's also emotional, like when they're like breaking off like her different islands. Like that's like sad. Like that's
sad.
Yeah.
Why?
It's hard to see. Like it's like she's like growing up and she's like changing, and like that's
not what that was.
No.
Like when the islands are breaking,
they come back.
Not all of them.
They come back as one because they get mixed in.
Yeah,
and then there's a bunch more islands.
She got new ones. Well, I know they came back eventually, and that was happy.
That's the growing up part.
Yes.
The breaking part is not a part of the growing up.
No, I was kind of combining the two in my head like there for a second. Yeah. But like the original. The original breaking is that when they come together, I'm like, oh, it's happy. It's just.
You mean because she's having an emotional breakdown?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a hot take to say that this movie really shines when we jump from HQ to outside of her to see how the emotions make her interact with the world. In fact, I would say so to the point where I would say, I think it would be a better movie if they just stayed inside of HQ.
Yep.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, because they don't really go to the islands. They go around the islands. They see them break apart. They see them fall. They don't go through them.
The only issue I have is
you go ahead.
But just where would the conflict be though if they just stayed?
Where would the conflict be? They moved. They don't know what to do. That's the conflict.
Well, the thing would be you have Riley be the driving force of the story, and then you jump back and forth between the emotions trying to figure out how to deal with. So say Riley ran away instead of joy and sadness. Why was that so hard? Instead of joy and sadness getting sucked out of the tube, you have Riley running away, and the emotions are trying to figure out how do we get her back.
The only thing is, so in my head, the way that I took this movie was she wouldn't have made the choice to run away if joy and sadness were there to begin with. And so
Unless she was actually her own entity and could make decisions without them.
Well, that's
they
what
never
I'm
make
also
that
trying
clear.
That's a valid point. It's kind of tricky if they're making
She's
the
a machine.
decisions.
Humans are machines. It's
Also,
it's
kind
all
of
the
if the
emotions.
control board, when the control board dies, doesn't that kind of imply that she's brain dead?
I don't know.
Or
It's like if they
emotion
can't
dead?
make decisions, then how's she functioning? And is she her own? Is she again her own entity? Can she actually exist as a character, or is she just something that is controlled?
She's just something that's controlled by her emotions.
Not necessarily though. Do you remember when they put the light bulb in to make her? And they said, "Is she going to take the idea to go?" They
so
said
is she?
that in
So
there.
she's her own
I
entity.
think yes. I think she is, and I think this is at least my.
So she can
this
make
is at least
decisions
my
for herself
interpretation.
without them.
Well, no. My interpretation is that they are like giving her whoever her is their input by pushing all the buttons, and like they're pushing her in different directions, but ultimately she has to make the final outcome.
I don't know. She kind of did every single thing
Yeah,
that
it
they
doesn't
did.
seem like that's the case.
Yeah, and the only time she doesn't is when the board freezes up. That's the thing. Every time they hit a button and move something, she did exactly what they, because that's how this is playing. She's like a robot. She doesn't have like a personality or character. It feels like because they're all
she's
running
like
her.
Megazord.
You had to explain.
When all the Power Rangers had their Zords combined.
Oh,
as
okay.
Megazord.
Okay. He's not wrong now that I think about it. I didn't know what the name was, but now that you say it, yeah.
Dang it, Jake, you're totally right.
You see where it's not like I'm pointing out a giant flaw. It's more of a I just get confused because it's like she doesn't really have a character. None of them really do because the characters are split into 5 people in their head. It's like that's fine, that's fun, but she doesn't really have a character.
You know what would be interesting? Because they're doing a sequel.
Yeah.
You know how this one was like learning about how emotions are more complex than it's not joy or sadness. It's joy and sadness. Like it's nuanced. Mm-hmm. What if the next one was about them learning to let her have control of them?
See, that'd be interesting.
And keep it in HQ, please. Again,
they're not going to do it.
Are you telling me you didn't like Abstract Land?
No,
it's fine. It's one of those things where the second they leave
when
HQ,
joy and sadness leaves, it stops.
Yeah, it's like now it's like instead of it being our conflict comes from working with the outside world and other people, it then changes to we got to get back in time, and it's like I get why they did that because it's more conventional. Mm-hmm. It's a journey. How many times have I brought up? A lot of kids' movies have journeys because it keeps the little kiddos
at least 7.
Engaged.
Which so in my brain, I just put these two things together. You know what I kind of feel? I think Soul is them learning to take Inside Out and push it a little further. And I know that's me kind of jumping forward in the catalog, but and
that has different issues.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
That has different things.
That did not need to... Never mind. We'll talk about it when
we'll get there. We'll see what a rewatch does.
I just thought that was interesting because like you kind of touched on like how you thought they were going to have more of a serious like look at like the emotions up in headquarters and how they work. And I think that's kind of what they did with like they took that original thing and then ran with that in Soul more than in this.
I feel like if you can stay in HQ and do more with the real world, you're not doing a bottle movie where kids will get bored because it's like the emotions don't go anywhere, but the people do, and I think that works in terms of keeping it engaging for kids. But also, you can have little, what are those called, like side, what's the word?
Stories.
Like,
Now the thing, like that courtroom term where it's like sidebar. There we go. Little sidebars where 2 or more emotions walk away from the main group and talk about something. You can keep that engaging and have the conflict between them as well as the conflict on the outside, instead of the story being, we got to get back in time.
wow, you guys are actually quite convincing.
We're pretty good at this. It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. It's just kind of frustrating.
I didn't even think about any of it. I literally the couple times that I watched this, I loved it. I'm head over heels.
Please continue to love it too.
And
it's a good movie.
Do. And
it's a good movie.
And I will.
Please continue to cry and piss Sam off. I'm kidding. Kidding, Sam. If you're watching this, I'm kidding.
He's not.
We're picking on him.
He's not kidding.
But yeah, that's and I definitely will. But no, that's just I never thought about it from that way, and it's.
You're also looking at 2
point.
people that. How do I say this? Look at the world more logically.
I'm not very.
You're very emotive. You're very emotion driven.
Yeah. Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little.
And he's very mathematically driven.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very
practically driven.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jake, you were saying it was frustrating, though?
It's just frustrating. I just feel like don't get me wrong, it's a good movie. It's beautiful.
It is.
Absolutely
with great
gorgeous.
music. The music's great.
Oh my
Yeah.
Music's great.
There are times when I feel like it doesn't know what it wants to be. It doesn't know how it wants to work.
I will say, on this specific rewatch, the stuff that made me cry did not have to do anything with Bing Bong. And
there we go. The elephant in the room. Yes. We're getting to this. Okay, continue.
It just had to be said eventually. And I don't know. He didn't do it all that much for me this time.
No.
I was really annoyed. I remember the first time I watched it being one of the scenes where I was like, this is where the message is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This time I was just kind of annoyed with it. I was like, all right, come on. Let's get out of here.
Like the message all came to me like with Riley and her parents and all that kind of stuff. Like that stuff was really impactful.
And when does that stuff happen?
At the very end.
When they're in HQ.
When they're in HQ. Yeah.
Like I said, everything shines when they're in HQ.
Oh, that does also remind me. And not to bounce back off of Bing Bong, because I think
not to bounce back off of Bing Bong.
There's a lot of views
Bing
there.
Bong.
Bing Bong, Bing Bong. But I was also going to say that I want the sequel, and I want more things to go into other people's minds, because when we went inside the moms and inside the dads' heads, that was so funny.
Guess where all the characters were?
They were all in HQ.
Yeah.
I got such a kick out of that made me laugh.
And that'll be interesting, because I think because all the emotions in the parents they're the primary emotion of the person, just different colors. I think what they are trying to imply is when you become an adult, you attach to one primary emotion that has nuanced versions of each, and they're not so erratic. They work better as a team because they're not so erratic.
And the mom's her primary was sadness, and the dad's was anger, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Did we say no? We didn't. Well, what would we be driven by? We think. What would our
didn't we say?
No, I think we said it off.
We
camera.
never said, because we just did our little cold open.
Yeah. What do you think?
So
what is the drive?
I really truly do believe mine is joy.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I am an optimist. I want everything to be as much roses and happiness as it possibly can. So that's where I think I end up. Where do you guys?
So we all were out camera, and I said anger, but I'm actually starting to think it's sadness.
Really? Oh, you should have him cheer you up.
No.
No, just go give him a hug right now.
That's the whole point of the movie is the fact that
it's okay. Keep going.
It's okay to be sad.
Here we are. So now that just brings up that Fairly Odd Parents clip of
you
that
never said what
faux,
yours is.
I know. I'll get to it. That
wait, what is yours? Or you can go first.
I'll get to it. I'm grounded. Because you said the line, I was waiting for it, but that Fairly Odd Parents clip of that fake Mr. Rogers, it's okay to feel sad sometimes. I go, yeah, that's Inside Out in a nutshell. Is that one clip. Mine is fear.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't know why you said that.
Mine is fear. And plus it's Bill Hader. So of course,
Bill Hader is so good
of course it's wonderful. And him just being scared and super anxious by everything. Like, it's me. The funniest part of the movie to me is when he's watching the dream and that dog splits in half and he goes, pfft. He just spit takes. And when he's just losing it, of course, the way he's like yelling at the movie, I was like, that's me. So that was fun. Yeah, see, I was getting there. Yell at me about not sharing. Of course I like to share things about myself.
It is, after all, about you.
It's okay to feel sad sometimes.
I will also say this, like what's her name? Phyllis Smith. She was so good at sadness.
Perfect casting.
She was literally perfect casting. Like, I could not imagine this. Like, after hearing her, I couldn't imagine a single other person playing it. Like,
oh, same with Amy Poehler.
Oh my God, Amy.
The voice acting in this is good.
Yeah, Lewis Black for Anger. Come on.
I want
That's
more.
So fitting.
I want more of the parents though, because Kyle MacLachlan is the dad and Diane Lane is the mom. It's like I want more of them. That's another thing. They don't really do much with the parents, and it's like, and a lot of it did feel like the cliches. It's like that's fine. Go into it more. I kind of want more of this because it's Riley's story, but to understand her, you gotta kind of understand her parents too.
Well, because
just a little more, not much.
Well, because I do think at the end they did a good job with telling Riley's story. At least a good job with like showing her character evolving, and I just want them to do that with other people now because I like that it's an interesting. I always thought this was a very creative movie. Like it's a very interesting idea to give like characterize the emotions in your brain. And
well, it's not an original idea.
I know it's not. I'm not saying it's original. I'm just thinking it's a creative and it's a cool thing to do. And so I like that they did this, and I want them to do it with the more characters, like the mom, like the dad. Let's go crazy. Let's do the dog. Let's do the teacher.
They did.
That's what I thought, didn't they?
They did a dog and a cat.
Yeah.
During the credits.
Yeah, it was during the credits.
And that poor boy just girl, they're all freaking out.
I know that was so great.
That's the best.
I was like, that was me.
That's the other part that I laughed really
when
hard.
When I was
still.
a teenager, girl, like literally.
Now getting back to Bing Bong.
Okay, yeah, let's
Bing Bong,
the
Bing
elephant
Bong.
in the room.
I'm sitting in the theater, and the part where he jumps out and Joy makes it up. She looks back and he starts saying, he says, "Take Riley to the moon for me," and I go, "Oh, it's actually a nice little moment." And then Joy has to say his name out loud, and because it was like, "Oh no, Bing Bong," out loud in the theater. I went, "Pah!" And I covered my mouth.
No, you didn't.
And my friend turned, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, you can't say Bing Bong in a serious moment. And he kind of went, "You're kind of right," because he loved the movie. I was trying to be a jerk, but it was like, "Ah!" Oh, I felt like a jerk in that moment, laughing because it's fun. Because I was telling Jake before, it's like if she would have said nothing, or if she would have only said, "Oh no." That's all you need, but then she said his name. Ruins the moment for me, and that's me. But still, it's like
no. I was in a very similar boat because I did like. While I think the whole Bing Bong, it's and every time you say his name too, it's a Bing Bong.
Oh no, Bing Bong,
Bing Bong, Bing Bong, Bing Bong.
So is his whole point? Is his whole point just to get her out of that pit?
Yeah, they kind of fridged him.
Yeah. Like there's literally there's no other point to him other than just getting her out of the plane.
Yeah, it is kind of a thing like there is a whole like you can't bring everything with you, and he was attached to Riley. There's a little more point. He's attached to a version of Riley that no longer exists.
Yes.
So when he saw her, he's like, "Wow, she's so big now." Like that's not she doesn't have use for it. Oh, what do you say? We can't both fit in that wagon anymore or whatever, the spaceship. And I go, okay, that's actually decent.
Yeah.
It's him realizing, like, what I'm holding on to, it's not her anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid.
And now he's dead.
Rip Bing Bong.
Joy, I don't feel so good.
Oh, can somebody please? I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna totally do that.
Please just make it where you take out Peter's face in Infinity War and just put Bing Bong's like face over
Joy,
that.
I don't feel so good. Jared, that's great.
See, I knew it was a little chuckle, but I knew if I said it out loud to him, he'd laugh as hard.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, and then the stops along the way were like, it's like, You got the
abstract thought
movie
was-
studios is the dreams,
That
and
was- I
the
thought that
train
was
of thought, and like the subconscious. Like it's fine, it's fun.
I think they're
But
all-
again, like Jake said, it's like, can we just get back to HQ? I was really interested in that.
I feel like way back when I saw it in 2015, I felt like it was way more clever than it actually is.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, and that's what they want because kids. But it's a bit too simple for what they could have. Like they set up something that could have been much better. You don't have to be complex.
Mm-hmm.
You can still be simple, but it doesn't take risks when it could have. I just feel like it's very just. I think I said
it played
conventional. It's
safe.
very conventional. It's a Pixar movie. That's like it's low risk. It's simple, and it's just like it's easy to. It's a crowd pleaser. It's easy to feel good about liking it, and it's okay to like it because it's a good movie. I just feel like they had potential to be great. But we're getting a sequel. How will the sequel change our look on this one? Is the
I
thing.
agree.
What will they do? We talked for a second about what they could do, but so help me if they leave HQ again, which they probably will. And because part of me was like, okay, so HQ's up here, and all the islands are here. But there's that. What's on the other side? There's nothing there right now because she's a kid. So it's like, I bet you they're gonna go over
It's
there
gonna get her
or
brain's
something,
just
or
gonna
go
get
to
big.
the other islands. Like, there's so much that they're probably going to do by leaving HQ again.
Yeah, and it's a good. Dang it. I hate when you guys make good points that I didn't think about.
And again,
Because
are we
you're
thinking too
right,
deep
though,
and being
because-
too harsh on a kids movie? Yeah,
I mean,
that's our job.
Yeah, that's all we're doing right now. Because on this specific rewatch, you're right. Like it felt not as clever as what you were saying. Like as clever as I thought it was back in.
Music's great.
Oh, da 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 da.
Michael
Michael
Giacchino.
This is
Yep.
Giacchino again. Shocker. I'm telling you again. I'll say it every time we bring that man's name up. Next John Williams. I'm saying it. I'm calling it. He is. That's all I got.
I wasn't gonna say anything because I just wanted another awkward silence to just follow something he said. Yeah, I don't think I have much else to say. If anything, it's just it's good. I think the hype of people loving it made me kind of hate it, and then of course it was gonna.
So now you know how it feels.
Oh, I've always known how it feels. Why do you think I call it out? Where it's like, yeah, exactly. It's been ruined for you by other people.
You know,
That's what it is.
wow, this is going to be a complete side note. But you mentioned that in the one movie that comes out for me. What, you want to know what comes out for me?
What?
A Quiet Place. That got hyped up beyond belief, and I didn't see it when it first came out. So it was so hard to turn down the things, and it wasn't. When I watched it, I didn't think it was that good. So yeah,
It's
it
fine.
happens a lot.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
The second one's fun too.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, it's just that one I can understand because I watched it, I liked it, I saw it a second time and didn't like it, so it's like okay, but I wasn't surrounded by people just gushing over it. Whereas this, everyone was losing their minds over it.
Oh, I remember when this first came out. Like the hype
my
was
gosh!
insane.
And then
And I was a part of that hype.
college me gets pissy about it because it's like, of course it's gonna win best animated feature,
I think it
and
did,
then
didn't it?
yeah, and it's like it's not the best movie of that bunch because, in my opinion, Anomalisa is the best of the bunch. And then I'm trying to think what else is in there. I think When Marnie Was There is in that batch.
This would have been 2016. I don't.
Yeah, I'm looking up. I don't want to be wrong. Okay, so Inside Out 1, you have Anomalisa, which is fantastic. You have Boy in the World, which is also fantastic. You have When Marnie Was There, Studio Ghibli. Good. Very good. And then you have Shaun the Sheep movie, which is really fun.
Nice.
So I think Inside Out is my least favorite of the 5. Another thing where it's like, wow, that is my least favorite. And of course it wins.
Well,
of course that's how
Pixar
my
owns
life works.
Pixar owns the Academy.
Yeah. Oh, and then it got a original screenplay nod, and I go, what? What?
I mean, this is an original screenplay. I don't know if it's the best one of the year though. But
not. I know it's original. I'm saying it got nominated for screenplay. It's fine.
That's, for
Again,
an animated movie
fueling-
too, that doesn't happen quite
but
often.
fueling into that like rising like hatred for it, even though I liked it fine.
The
It's
thing
just
is, it's so interesting because like I do feel like I'm hearing a good chunk nowadays of people saying it's like the rose-colored glasses are coming off now. I feel like it's not aging as nice as people thought it would, or as nice.
that's
as
just
it
what
is. I
happens
thought
with hype.
it just fades.
After a while, you just realize, okay, yeah, it's good. It's not this big game-changing, mind-blowing thing that I thought it was. I'm older. Other things have come out. I've watched more things. I'm hopefully smarter.
Hopefully,
I
It's
don't
like-
think that, no.
no, definitely not for me.
Anyway, we know. Yeah. So it's just one of those things. Just you get older and stuff like that changes. It's the same with some of our favorite movies. We still love them. It just changes. It doesn't mean it changes for better or for worse. It's just
It's different.
it changes how you see it, how you watch. Some of the things last year when we watched all of our favorites. Some of them we loved when we saw them, or the previous time we saw them, and then we watch them again, and it's changed. We still love them usually, but something has changed. It's like I don't remember it being like this, or I remember liking it more, or stuff like that has happened a couple times, and it's just what happens. So, I think I got everything I wanted to talk about. The puberty joke's kind of funny. Watch that. That's going to be the whole second movie. So that joke's now going to be the plot to an entire movie.
It literally, you know, that's what it's all. This is all gonna be puberty. Yeah. That's gonna be a. That's gonna be a.
Yeah.
It's honestly gonna be a. When is it coming out?
I don't
you
remember.
when
It was something like that.
24.
24.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
he's right.
There you go.
2024.
Still got a year to go.
Yep. Or so. I do remember around this time, probably within a year or two after this, there was an ad on TV for Lewis Black on tour, and they showed a couple clips, and it was so funny because I wasn't really paying attention. I'd seen the ad a couple times, and I didn't think anything. And my dad's sitting next to me, and he sees it, and it ends, and he goes, "Was that supposed to be funny?" And he never says... And he never makes comments. He usually isn't listening, but he just kind of stared and goes, "Was that supposed to be funny?" Because it's a stand-up show, and I go, "That's kind of funny." Because, of course, the clips I picked up were not funny.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're out of context because it's a stand-up show. You don't just tell, like, a knock-knock joke.
Yeah.
You have, like, it's like 8 minutes of context. So, but it is funny. I was like, "Was that supposed to be funny?" He is pretty funny in this.
I do like Lewis Black. Yeah, he is a funny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else we have to say about
think
Inside Out?
I think I got all my insides out.
Oh, no. That's what I was going to say. But I didn't. I chose not to. But we still got to hear it. So
You still got to hear it. Congratulations.
So,
All right.
Yeah. That was Inside Out. Dickey, you want to tell us where the wonderful people can listen and follow us. You want this?
Of course I don't need that. Of course I will. If you want to follow us online, we are at Off Slate Media. We're on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. And you can listen to our podcast if you don't want to see us. I feel offended if you don't want to see our faces. But if you don't want to and you just want to have the audio stuff, we're on Spotify, on Apple, on Stitcher, on Google, on Donner, on Dancer. You know,
it's not Christmas anymore.
Oh, it's not Christmas anymore, no. But we're on all the podcasting apps. Please rate us on those. Please make sure to check out our YouTube channel, again, at Off Slate Media. Like us, give us a follow, ring our bell, subscribe, all that good stuff. And also check out our website at offslatemedia.com.
Alrighty. Next week, we'll be watching the other Pixar movie from 2015. And if you're on YouTube, please focus on when I say this.
Oh, boy.
We're watching The Good Dinosaur.
It really pisses me off when he does that.
Yeah,
I know he does that just to piss me off, but
Jake loves it.
loves it.
Yeah, Jake loves
it.
It's his favorite Pixar
I've never
movie.
seen it.
I
have
loves it.
never seen it. I can't wait to watch this.
Jake
I'm so
loves
excited.
it so much. It's more of Jake likes it and everyone hates it and Jake doesn't understand. I don't hate it. I think it's...
But it's The Good Dinosaur, so it must be good, right?
No.
No, it's not. Anyway, well, but we'll see how a rewatch goes. But that's next week. So from all of us here at Off Slate Media, this is Dimlits. We'll see you next week. Happy joy!
Joy! Oh, you're right.
I was taking my glasses off. I didn't.
Joy! Happy puppies, butterflies!
I think that's good enough. That's probably the best we're going to get out of each other. Why didn't you change it?
I forgot.
Hey, watch this.
Whoa! Binders can do that?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I gotta tell you, man.
Whoa! Bro.
I have Jammy Dodgers.
Dude, I was like,
Would you like a cookie?
that's a good cookie.
Start throwing his own bottles at him.
C is for cookie. It's good enough for me. C is for cookie. It's good enough for me. C is for cookie. It's good enough for me. Cookie.
Chicken, 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 chicken.
Mozzarella marinara,
Mozzarella marinara, mozzarella marinara, mozzarella marinara, mozzarella marinara. Chicken! Whopper.
I'm not allowed. He does shit like that, and I'm not allowed to hate Joe Burrow.
I didn't say it was okay that he did that.